Hey YouTube, Freedom for Canis here. Hey, how's everyone doing out there, my subscribers and friends? It's been a while since I made a good video. The last video I made, I kind of updated you with what's going on, and I know some of you have been anticipating a good video from me, so this will be my first official video back. Again, I just want to thank everyone for being so patient as I move from one place to the next, and I'm just still trying to get settled. But one big event that happened over the weekend in my life was that I was baptized for the second time in my life. I went to church. I had no idea they were going to do baptisms, and there was 15 scheduled baptisms. And the pastor said after the 15 people that were scheduled to be baptized, others could get baptized as well if they wanted to. And it was just at that moment, as I was sitting in my seat in church, I received a calling from the Lord. And I just heard this voice inside of me saying, go get baptized. And just to give you a little background on my religious beliefs, I was born and raised and baptized Catholic. I married Lutheran. And now I've since left those two religions, and now I'm just a true Christian. Okay, the church I go to, they're non-denominational, and our church doesn't have any true guidelines as far as, being specific about what you can do and what you can't do, which I think is awesome. Now, the reason why I say that is because our church teaches out of the Bible. We preach from the Bible, and we learn and we learn about Jesus and things like that. But I think the cool part about it is that you don't have all those ties to certain rules and certain guidelines that you got to follow, which I think is a great thing. So anyway, I was sitting in my seat and I got this calling from the Lord saying, go get baptized. I belong to this church for 5 years now, and the baptisms that our church does is the full immersion. So there I am in the holy water tank, and sure enough, got in line, filled out my paperwork, and got a certificate of baptism. So I got into the tub, stood next to my pastor, and we said a short prayer together, and he immersed me into the holy water, and I was baptized for the second time in my life. And definitely I have a sense of belonging now. So that's about that. So moving on, I want to go into some headlines today. First thing I want to talk about is climate change, and I just find it kind of funny. Some of these articles are about 3, 4, 5 days old, which is fine. There's certain things I want to cover, but Hillary Clinton came out and she had a statement, and this is on Fox News. It says Clinton invokes climate change debate to explain Pakistan floods. Now, the one thing that I find very, very interesting in this article is she comes out very plainly and says, you can't point any particular disaster and say it was caused by, this disaster. Although she continues by saying, but we are changing the climate of the world. Well, of course you are. Let's see. Countless oil spills and disasters all going on at the same time. I find that a little more than just suspicious. Coincidence? No, I don't think so. Of course they're changing the climate. They want to be right, and the only way to do it is to pollute the air, and it's going to obviously change the climate. Now, in the same instance, it's also going to kill people and things like that, make them ill. I'm working on some things behind the scenes that other things that are going on right now. But here's something that I want to talk about as well. Yesterday, there was a 27% drop in U.S. home sales. Now, this is a huge deal, and I checked the market today, and again, it is down already like 25 points, but it's still a little early. It might rebound, but this story will be in there, and they show a graph, and in the graph on this link, which will be, all the links will be underneath as always. The question is, so who's going to buy all these unsold homes with so few qualified purchasers in the marketplace? And that is a fantastic question, because considering banks aren't lending a whole lot of money, for one. Secondly, you've got to have almost spotless credit right now to be able to buy a house. And third of all, I don't know anybody who would buy a house right now, considering how unstable the market is. You could purchase a house and all hell break loose, and then guess what? You're out on your butt. So I definitely wouldn't do that. Now, there is another link that I want to get right here. I just found it. Sorry. It says China slashes U.S. government bond holdings by the largest amount ever. And granted, this came out on the 17th. Okay. But here's the thing. Okay. I just said about the market crashing, the housing market crashing. Now, in this story, if you read the story, it says 2-year rates will rise to 0.85% by the year end as the U.S. economy rebounds in 2010 from a contraction in 2009, according to Bloomberg surveys of financial companies. Now, this is important right here. The report today will show improvement in the housing and manufacturing markets. These signs of stability, even as growth is less than expected. Now, essentially what our government did is they lied to China. Okay, and this came out on the 17th. Here we got 5-6 days later, what happens? The real numbers come out and bam, there we have it. Okay, the housing market is horrible, but in this article to China, they're telling China we're on a rebound. Our government is so willing to lie to everybody and anybody to create this mass panic. It's unbelievable. But let's go back. Now there's something of importance that I actually got from another truther. His name is Monograph. I got this from Monograph, and I want to give him credit for this. But anyway, it says Philadelphia is requiring bloggers to pay a $300 fee for a business license if you're a blogger. Okay, it seems as though that two things. It seems as though either they're running out of money by collecting taxes, people are losing their houses, so they're not getting enough revenue through taxes, and or, which is I think the bigger picture, the government is finally catching on to what's going on behind the scenes, and the bloggers like myself are spreading the truth around to the people, and the people are finally, slowly but surely, waking up. Now, I hope that's the case, but I would love to have more people wake up. That would be the best thing that could possibly happen. But on the other hand, the government is just trying to close that down. And here is a prime example of that. I mean, how many people are going to be able to afford $300 for a business license? It's a one-time, lifetime fee. Well, I don't know. I guess we'll find out what happens. I know there are some people that are trying to block this, and I hope that's the way it goes, because again, this is against our Constitution, freedom of speech. We can't have it. Can't have this. Okay, so going on with the horrible economy, I got a link here. It says Fidelity seizes record number of people raid their 401ks. Essentially, what they're saying is people have tapped into their retirement, their 401ks, their IRAs, whatever you may have. Now, the reason of this is because obviously the economy is so bad, people are losing their houses and things like that. And it says right here, what's more, the number of workers borrowing from their accounts has reached a 10-year high, according to a report issued this past Friday by Fidelity Investments. Okay? Now, I know that I myself have tapped into my IRA. I took $8,000 out of my IRA, and still I lost my house. Okay? Again, hours cuts, pay cuts, things like that. Things you can't control. It wasn't due to overspending, gambling, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, nothing. It was due to the economy. And again, I always say, the government set up the middle class and pulled the rug out from underneath them. I mean, that's a whole other story, but two more articles right here, real quick here. And the jobless claims have rose, highest number since November. Applications for unemployment benefits in U.S. unexpectedly, right, increased last week to the highest level since November, showing companies are stepping up the pace of firings and layoffs. The initial claim rose from 12,000 to 500,000 in 1 week. That is amazing. Amazing. It rose from 12,000 to 500,000. That's 480,000 increase. Amazing. Completely amazing. And last but not least, tensions rise in Greece as austerity measures backfire. Now, as you remember, Greece got the bailout, and all those countries in the EU are definitely in trouble, just like the United States is in trouble. And it seems as though, step for step, the United States is going right down the same road as Greece is. Now, folks, if these articles don't open your eyes, if these articles don't put something on your head and say, hey, we need to get ready, you definitely need to get ready. All the articles and links will be underneath. People, it's not hard to connect the dots, and this is a great video to do that. Not only is the signs are so obvious, but our government is lying to other countries. Just flat out lying about how good our economy actually is. And I can't believe that the other countries are they buying this? Are they not buying it? Are they paying attention? I mean, China, going back to the China link, China slashes U.S. government bonds holdings at the largest amount ever. I mean, obviously China is waking up. And here's the thing, when China increases their pay to their workers, you have to understand that as the Chinese give more money to their workers, that is going to increase the amount of overhead to the American consumer. So the American companies that are having products made over in China, it's going to cost them more money, which in turn is either A, going to increase the price of products here in the United States, or B, decrease the profitability for that company. Now, it has been reported that Walmart has increased prices for the first time in, from what I understand, in several years. I don't have the article in front of me, but that's what I heard, that Walmart did increase prices. So there you have it, guys, in a nutshell. I mean, let's just connect the dots. It's pretty easy to see. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and, I'm just glad to be back. I feel like a new person being baptized. I feel like a sense of belonging with my church. So, all of you people, it's great to see you. I'm glad to be back. You folks have a wonderful day. Hey, YouTube, just a little edit here. I know I already gave my closing credits, but anyway, I just wanted to add this portion in here a little bit. This link will also be underneath. It says, the government lies to the American people about the safety of Gulf seafood with videos attached. The CDC just announced for the seafood to pose a health risk, the food would have to be heavily contaminated with oil and would therefore have a strong odor and taste of oil. This is blatantly untrue. Okay? And the reason why I know this is untrue is because the same thing that happened here in Michigan. Okay, 20 years ago, there were some spills in the Great Lakes, and there's always mercury in the Great Lakes. The surrounding states, very, very unfortunately, they use the Great Lakes as a dumping area. Okay? Now, I know there have been some tightened regulations, as they say, but I know when I was doing the oil story in Kalamazoo, that I had some people tell me again that they were dumping into the Great Lakes as well. So the mercury, when you catch a fish, you're not going to smell the mercury, you're not going to see the mercury because it's ingested into the fish, which then goes through the digestive system, and then it just plainly gets absorbed into their body. You're not going to taste it, you're not going to smell it, you're not going to know. So this story about the food being okay, again, is a blatant lie in the American government. Again, they just don't want you here.